All right, welcome to part 2 of making your shed. So in this tutorial, we're going to add a floor, a roof, and then set our walls to be of the correct materials that are in our constraints. So let's start with adding a floor. So I'm going to go to my floor plan so I can look at it from above. And we're going to click the floor button in our architecture tab of our ribbon. And it changes some of the things we have here. And since this is a really simple design, it's just 4 simple walls, the easiest way is to just click all 4 walls. And you can see there is this purple outline. Right now it's on the outside. Say you wanted the floor just on the inside of a room, you can click these arrows and it flips that purple to the inside. That's showing you where the floor is going to be built. So for our shed, we want the floor to kind of also act like a foundation, so we want it on the outside. And I'm going to click the green check mark. So next we want to change the type of this floor. Right now it's just a floor, generic 12-inch. We want it to be wood joist 10-inch wood finish. And it kind of shows you a little picture of what it looks like. And now it has a little bit of detail on it. And if we go to our 3D, again, you can see that now we have a floor. So next we want to add our roof. So I'm going to go back to our floor level and use our roof button. Oh, so it's telling me that I am not I'm on the lowest level. I'm not on the roof level. So I just want to do, would you like to move it to roof? Yes. So you want to make sure you are on the correct floor level. So maybe I'm going to go to roof. Let's see here. And do it from up here. So make sure you're on the roof floor plan. And I am in our roof tools here. Actually, I'm going to close that. So I'm on the roof. Let's do roof. All right, so now I basically just to tell it where I want the roof built over. So there's a couple of settings we want to modify first or make sure we have set up correctly. So first we want this define slope checked, and then our overhang we want to be at 1 foot. So that is just a standard kind of overhang, so how much the roof hangs over the walls of our shed. And our slope is going to tell it that we want it to be slanted. So because we want a gable roof, only 2 of the roof angles are going to be slanted. We don't want them all coming together to a peak in the middle like a pyramid. We only want 2 coming together. So we just want to pick 2 walls that are parallel to each other. So it doesn't matter if you go long or short. It changes your design a little bit. But you can try one and undo and see what it looks like, and try the other, undo, see what it looks like. I'm going to do my 2 long walls. So before I click the walls, you can see as I move my mouse, that little dotted line is going from the outside to the inside. That's the overhang. So obviously I want the overhang on the outside of my building. So I'm going to make sure the dotted line is on the outside. And I'm going to do the other one that's parallel to it. Dotted line's on the outside. And now before I select my other walls, I'm going to turn off the slope. And that's going to make it not be slanted up. It's just going to go straight up. Again, my overhang's on the outside, overhang on the outside, and I'm going to do green check mark to finish it. It says, do you want to attach the highlighted walls to the roof? Yes, I do, but I know just from this, I also need this one attached. So hopefully you should have 2 little blue parts there that attach it. I might have to go back in and edit it. So hopefully this little section here is blue and that section's blue. If not, I might have to help you fix that. I'm going to do yes. So there is our roof. And if I go to our 3D and orbit around, you can see our roof on there. So it didn't attach over here. That was that issue I was having. So I'm going to have to fix that later. But yours hopefully matches, like this side, it goes all the way up. So if I would have chosen the short ends to be the slanted slope, it would have had the peak on this longer wall. So you can play around. You can always undo or Control Z is how we undo things. But I'm going to leave it like that. You can adjust the pitch of the roof by dragging this up and down and make it more slanted. So you can kind of choose what you want that to look like. I'm going to do kind of a medium. So we are going to make our material now, or set up the roof to have the right kind of roof. Instead of just basic roof, we're going to change the type to wood rafter 8-inch asphalt shingle. There we go. All right, so next we need to edit our wall types so that it matches our constraints that we want. So I'm going to go back to my floor and pick a wall. So we don't want a basic wall. We want the special shed wall. So it's not going to be listed in here because we want to create our own with our own setup of layers, basically, of what makes the wall. So let me click my wall again, and I'm going to click Edit Type, and I'm going to duplicate this wall, and I'm going to call it Shed Wall. So now we have a whole new type that we can edit all kinds of stuff about. So for the structure, we're going to go in there and edit it and start to define these different materials that it is made of. So we're going to have clapboard, a stud layer, plywood sheathing, and gypsum. So to add these materials, you can kind of click inside of here and you see this dot, dot, dot. I'm going to click that and I'm going to search for gypsum. So here is our gypsum wallboard. This is what's going to be on the inside of our shed. So I'm going to click that and hit OK. And now that says gypsum wall. So I'm going to insert another one. And we're going to go to plywood sheathing, and OK. And let's look for our stud layer. So I can type it in. There's a metal stud layer, but we want wood. And there's actually a way that you can search materials and go wood. Okay, nothing showing up under stud. Let's delete that and let's see. So this is all of our wood materials. So obviously we had our plywood. All right, so we don't see it. That's okay. We can create materials too and kind of set up some info about it. So this little button down here is create and duplicate. So I'm actually going to switch to all because it will be easier to find this new material if you're under all. So I'm going to create a material, and let's see, to find it, should say like default new, create new material, default new material. Here we go, and it jumped to it. If you're not listed under all, it probably won't jump to it because if you're it's not identified as wood yet. So I'm going to click the Identify tab, and I'm going to call this stud layer wood. And a description is going to be wood for wall studs, and class. Now we're going to identify it into our wood and hit OK. And so if I even open that one back up again, and now I could go to wood and stud layer wood. There's the one that we just made. So it doesn't have a fancy picture right now. It is possible to go in and like change things. We're not going to worry about that right now, but that is possible. But that one that we made, it's there now. It's added to our material browser. I'm going to hit cancel to close it because we need to add one more. So we're going to insert another material. And we need clapboard. And I already know from looking at our wood that it's not in there. So we're going to create another one. Create new material. Here's our default material. So I'm going to go to identity. And this is going to be clapboard. description. This is actually exterior clapboard for walls. Wood. And okay, so if you don't know what clapboard is, I pulled up a little picture here. This is what that is. So that's the outside, this wooden siding. It's called clapboard. So now we need to put these materials in the right order and for what it is. So right now these are all listed as structure, where clapboard and the gypsum wall really aren't structure. They're more of a finish. So if I am on this like second level where my clapboard is, or wherever your clapboard is, I want to move it up. And I want this to be a finish. And then gypsum wall, we want this to go down, and that's going to be a finish layer also. So the stud and the plywood, that's actually providing the structure to our walls. These are more just for looks, what it looks like. So lastly, we need to set our thicknesses. So these thicknesses come from like code. So I'm not just like pull them out of nowhere, but these are the thicknesses we're going to use. So clapboard is 1/2 inch. We got our stud layer is 3/4 of an inch. Our plywood sheathing is 3.5 inches. And our gypsum is actually going to be 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to hit OK. And OK, so we've created this new type of wall. We've edited some of the materials in there, the structure that makes it. I'm going to hit OK. So you can see that this wall is actually thinner than our other 3. We haven't set the other 3 yet to be that new shed wall. So I'm going to select, go one by one. Okay, so I'll click that wall. I can find our shed wall. I can do my other one. Go shed wall. And the 4th one, shed wall. Here we go. So if we looked at the 3D, can't really tell that anything changed right now, and some of the graphics might be a little off because we created some new ones, but that's okay. But there is where you should be at so far. We added a roof, we added a floor, and then modified those walls to be the correct materials.